Good morning. Na 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 na. Good morning. Na 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 na. Good morning. The rest of your life's gonna start today. She's giving me the evil eye. Hey, Inspired Tribe, how's it going? Welcome to the Inspired Livestream. I'm Jean Nolan. This is my wonderful, beautiful wife, Kristin Nolan. She is behind the camera. She's actually sitting here in her bikini. Which is a nice view that only I am going to get to enjoy today. Inspired Tribe, we're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free, we're healthy, wealthy, whole, and free. And it is Monday, June 14th, 2021. Thank you for being here with us. We want to welcome the new ones, the newer ones, and the newest ones that are with us in the live streams. Hey, Michael. Emma is continuing the beautiful practice of hey, Michael, so is Kristin. Hey, Michael. Hey, Joy Gardner. Please, everyone who's tuning in, the new members and newer members, I'm gonna tell you something important right now, but please welcome Michael. Michael always needs a special welcome from everyone. So for those of you who are new members of the tribe, we've been growing quite excessively lately, beautifully. We're excited about it. But for those of you who are newer members, welcome. And this is really easy. You become a member just by being here. There's really, no form to sign up, no fee to pay, no dues, no nothing. You just got to be here, be part of the tribe. And if you can, let us know in the live comment section who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what brought you here, or, what do you desire out of life? What do you want out of life? And something that's been coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about that later, for our junior coaches that we're teaching to become coaches this year, is a theme that they're telling us a lot of people out there are going through this process of great awakening, and they feel kind of alone. They don't know who to connect with, who to talk to, and whatnot. So please connect with each other. We're going to start a dedicated Telegram group where everyone can, talk to each other, introduce themselves, join the group, and become part of this conversation. But you can do it here in the live chat. You can do it pretty much everywhere you want. It's always interesting. I always know which topics, when we pick them, are going to have what kind of reaction. And usually I know where people will stay away or steer clear from a live stream or not. And it's usually those are controversial topics for people in their personal lives. I can feel this today. Today, my dear friends and beautiful tribe members, we're talking about there's always another fountain. I'm going to start with a story so you understand what that means and what it's going to lead into. So a few days ago, and Kristin's been looking for that for a while now. She's been looking for a fountain that we can put in our yard, and at night, when the nights allow for it, which right now it's really hot, we can open our window and just hear the gentle, beautiful sound of the water. And we love fountains, and she's been looking online and everywhere and found a fountain after a while now that she really likes, and has been in touch with the person selling it, and they've been writing back and forth. And she comes to me a couple days ago. She says, well, we're going to have to drive, like 40 minutes from here to pick it up. I said, sure, no problem. Let's go a little later. And then there was this whole ordeal with when are we going to be there? And when are we going to pick it up? And this time is too soon. And a little later is too late. And maybe earlier or maybe not as early. And it was this whole back and forth. And then we eventually settled on the next day. We decided we're going to take a little road trip and on our way back, pick up the fountain. And then we got, again, messaging back and forth with the person. And I just said to Kristin, because usually, in the old days, she would have moved heaven and earth to pick up that fountain no matter what. She loved it no matter where. She would have moved heaven and earth. Now she was really relaxed. And I said, you know what? If this doesn't work out, there's always another fountain. There's always another fountain. And that line stuck with me because so often we live close to Nashville. We live very close to Nashville. For those of you who don't know, I'm an artist and songwriter, so I'm in the music business all the time. And one of the biggest things that I see every day is what people call FOMO now. It's the fear of missing out, the fear of being too late, the fear of not getting it, the fear of not reaching it, the fear of not having made a decision in the right way, the fear of being too old, the fear of never reaching your goals, all these fears. And so there's a bigger picture here. And so many people have that in one way or another. They either regret that they didn't make a choice they wanted to make. They regret that they haven't, pursued a career or a passion or a purpose earlier in their lives. We get that a lot. Emails like, I'm in my 60s now. I feel like it's too late for me. I wish I would have discovered all of this knowledge and my spiritual inner knowledge earlier. I wish I would have. This is really societal programming at its best. And this only comes from we've been trained to believe in scarcity. We've been trained to believe in limitation, age limitation, limitation in skills, limitations in what we can achieve at a certain point of our lives, or what we can or cannot do. But this whole FOMO thing, it creates a vicious spiral. Because, see, if we would have tried to chase down that particular fountain, which a day later we got a message and, they said, well, we're not going to sell it after all. And it was all good. But if we would have chased down that fountain, nothing would have worked out. I can guarantee this with you. That's when things start getting really problematic. When we begin chasing something with such an intensity just because we have a fear of missing out. But our fear of missing out really comes from comparison too, because we compare ourselves to other people and what they do and what they have. Because we believe that our experience, could be their experience, or their experience could be our experience. And this goes really, really back to what I just said, in this town where there's so many artists and songwriters that are competing for a few slots. They're competing for a few slots. And when someone they know succeeds, for so many people, that's even harder than if someone they don't know succeed, because they have the feeling, man, this person's so close to me, it could have been me, which is a belief that anything can be taken away from your life experience, that there is this external source of, that pushes and pulls switches and triggers, and that you are not in control of your decisions and in control of your life. But we can learn from these, so-called missed opportunities. The number one thing is that we probably should remember, for those of you who've been with us for a while, we've done like a couple, 3 maybe, live streams on this topic because it's so important. There are 4 beautiful spiritual laws. I'm going to paraphrase here, not go in depth, but the 4 beautiful spiritual laws that have been around for eons. They say, number 1, whatever happens is the only thing that could have happened. Now, this is a major trigger for many humans. It does not mean that whatever happens is what needs to happen in the future. It only means whatever happened is the only thing that could have happened, which really just speaks for all the laws that we have learned so much about, is that there is a force that puts together similar vibrations and frequencies. So while whatever happened is the only thing that could have happened is true, it does not mean that it is the only thing that can happen in the future. And this is where we begin to take our life experience and then project the fears from past experiences into the future. And we say, well, I better not make that choice again, because last time I picked a black bottle of whatever spray, it exploded on me. So now every time I see a black bottle of paint or black spray, it's going to explode on me. That's not true. That's simply not true. The second law says that the person that appears in our life is the right person. Again, it's something that a lot of people have problems comprehending, because we always think and accepting it. We always think if we could go back and change it, then we could have attracted a different person. But what is the lesson again here? If I'm not enjoying the experience I'm having right now, I can change what I'm putting out. I can change who I am, and my experience in turn is going to change. The third law is whenever something begins, it's the right time. And this, again, we're speaking about this fear of missing out, this fear of being too late, the fear of not having made the right decision, the fear of never reaching my goal, the fear of never getting to where I want to go. When something begins, it's the right time. We can speak to that for days on end because we have tried to push things before they were ready. As a matter of fact, for Kristin and I, this has been a theme in our lives together, is that what we create in our minds and hearts and co-create, the visions, they are usually really big, and they require shifts and changes that are beyond our own experience. But the visions remain so strong that we cannot really let go. But what we find out is what we believe is going to happen within a matter of months usually takes years. But it does come around. It does come around full circle, and it does then realize and manifest 100% the way we saw it and we envisioned it. But so that's this gestation period, and that's the buffer, the time buffer that we have on this planet. So whenever something happens, it's the right time. Again, I'm retracting my previous statement that only the first spiritual law is going to trigger people. All of them are going to trigger people, because we have been conditioned to believe that we can, with our minds and with our stubbornness and with our sheer willpower, we can constantly manipulate reality, and we can do these things when this is not the right approach at all. Fourth Indian law states that whenever something is over, it's over. And my God, for those who have gone back to old flames and tried to, reheat an old relationship and do these things, isn't that really true? Whenever something is over, it's over. These are eternal laws. We haven't made those. We didn't make those laws, and we're just experiencing the truth of these laws over and over and over and over again. And there's so much peace. I want to repeat them briefly for you. You might want to write them down if you haven't yet. The first law states that whatever happened is the only thing that could have happened. The second law states that whenever something begins, that's the second law, is the person that comes into our life is the right person. The third law states that whenever something begins, it's the right time. And the fourth law states that whenever something ends, it's over. That's the end. There's no going back to it. And those things are very, very calming, especially if you tend to overthink and overfear about past decisions, about why you didn't do things differently, about the fear of missing out. It also leads us directly to forgiving ourselves for all the choices we thought we should have made differently, because there is absolutely no gain, absolutely no meaning in stirring up all these past quote-unquote missed decisions. There's nothing we can really do about that other than make peace with it and forgive. But we can learn, and this is the really most important lesson here. We can learn, because there is a tendency that people have, is that they are ready for something. They feel they want to shift. They feel they want to change. And when the opportunity comes, they chicken out because they're scared. Because while most people want change, very few people are really willing to change. And those are two very different things. Almost everyone wants change, because almost everyone wants more of this, better this, more beautiful this, but very few people want to change. And usually these opportunities, when they come and we don't seal the deal, it's because we are scared. And fear is never a good driver for a decision. There's really, in the fundamentals, there's only two decision-making inspirations or motivators or reasons, and that's love or fear. That's really what it comes down to. We either make decisions out of love or we make decisions out of fear. And the decisions we make out of fear are never good ones. They are never good ones. So if we chicken out of this wonderful opportunity because we are scared, that's exactly what 2 days, 4 weeks, a year later, we're going to, kick ourselves in the butt for. But what if we wouldn't kick ourselves in the butt? What if we would rather take this experience and really analyze what was the reason? Why was I hesitant? Was it because I compared myself to others? Was it because it would require change of me? Would it require moving? Would it require, going into a new work environment? Would it require changing my beliefs? All of those things are decision, keep us from making decisions. And then in turn, keep us in this spiral of regretting that we didn't make decisions. And there's really just one thing that comes up as a common theme in people that are close to the transitioning, point in their lives when they're old, and when they're being asked, well, how was your life? What did you do? What did you not do? And most people don't regret. They forgive themselves sooner or later for the things they've done. But most people never forgive themselves for the things they have not done, and the decisions they didn't make because they were too scared. But we can't rush ourselves into decisions out of fear. What is really missing, and why people are in a spiral of not sealing the deal, of not making the choice, of not pulling the trigger in the best possible way — I'm talking about a good trigger — is because they don't really feel connected. And when you are connected, which means when you have this true, authentic, personal, intimate relationship with your creator, which is also your inner being or your highest self, whatever you want to call it, then you are so clear on the right decision. Then you are so clear on saying yes or on saying no, no regrets whatsoever. Then you realize, even though 1,000 people said yes and they now have a good experience, for you, no was still the right answer. And on the flip side, even though 1,000 people said no to the same opportunity and they're well off, for you saying yes was the right choice. That comes from being connected. And we can tell you this: some of the people that we have had most fun with and have experienced the most beautiful things with, and that are the most successful in various areas, they make huge life-changing decisions on the fly. Because at the end of the day, for them, it's not about stats, it's not about statistics, it's not about probabilities, it's not about numbers. I mean, we have seen people make $100 million, even $1 billion decisions on the spot, just because it felt right. Now, what they will do usually later is they will send out their team and make up, the feasibility and all of that. But really, their decision 99% of the time sticks because they have this intuitive knowing. And it all, as you can see, all our problems, all our challenges stem from a disconnection. They stem because we're looking for answers everywhere outside of us, because we're looking for what are other people doing in a situation like mine, so this is what I should be doing in a situation like mine, which comes from a belief that your experience and their experience can be duplicated. Your experience is unique. Your purpose is unique. Your life story is unique. So the reasons why you make decisions are unique as well. And the only thing that will point you in the right direction, always, is a true, authentic connection and relationship with your creator. So that's what we, as you can see. Now, we can saddle this horse whichever way you want. It's always going to come back to this. And people spend a lifetime and a fortune and risk their health and do anything and everything because they want to find an external sense-satisfying source for their decisions. They want to grasp things solely with their human senses. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You have to have a connection, because so many times in your life, it's going to be foggy. It's going to be dark. There's nothing for you to see. There's nothing for the senses to perceive. And you're just going to have to rely on that connection with your creator to make that choice and to make the right one. And Another part of why people have these experiences of regrets and fear of missing out and always being in limbo about making potentially life-changing choices is because they are not really clear on what they desire in their lives. They don't become clear on what their purpose is. Because when you have a desire, when you have a purpose, when you have a vision, you have a clear understanding of where you're going. And then the decisions come so much easier because you feel, is this aligned with where I'm going? It doesn't mean always does this make perfect logical sense, because a lot of times it doesn't. But is it aligned feeling wise? Does it feel like the right decision for me? And that's the only thing that matters. And so society has created all these programs, scarcity, limitation, fear of missing out. Then they say, YOLO, you only live once. What a stupid concept anyways, but you only live once. And so people are being either rushed into decisions or pressured into decisions, and for all the wrong reasons. And that's where all this cycle of regret and fear and doubt comes from. And we can just tell you that when your connection to your creator becomes the most important thing, and we're not coming from a religious standpoint here. We're not saying that's according to the Quran or according to the Bible, or that's whatever your path is totally up to you. That is your path. We're not talking about a dogmatic God, dogmatic God. We're talking about this authentic, intimate relationship that you have, that only you can feel, that only you can define in your ways, and that's by going deep, and that's by overcoming all the sensations of the physical senses. You have to go beyond this short-term satisfaction thing to go deeper with God. That's really where this always leads to. And when that's at the center of everything around you harmonizes. It doesn't mean you won't have challenges. It doesn't mean there won't be bumps in the road. It just means it won't feel like there's a huge bump in the road. You will know that you're number one always guided, that you're walking with and towards your purpose, and that you have a wonderful compass inside of you that leads you and guides you. And then these problem areas of feeling too old for something or maybe too young for something, it's interesting. Some people and it's only in your head. It's only in your head. If there's I always say, if God puts a desire in your heart, then God has a really wonderful way of creating a path as well. But you have to establish that connection, and again, that's a personal, intimate thing. That's something you do the way you desire to do it. So check in with that. Check in with yourself more often. Feel what's going on. And next time when a decision, because we make a lot of choices every day that we're not even aware of. And it begins with what's going to be our first morning beverage. It begins with how are we going to get out of bed? What's the first thing we're going to do? How are we directing our thoughts in the morning? My first thing every day I wake up is I reaffirm that connection. I thank, and I thank for all that is, and I thank for the guidance through the day, and I thank for God. That's what I call the universe. It's a beautiful name for me, but you might call it universe. You might call it all that is, infinite intelligence, whatever. And I thank God to speak and act through me, and make decisions through me. I love feeling that. I love feeling that guidance, and I don't love not feeling it, if you know what I mean. I can tell when I cut myself off from it, and then it doesn't feel good, and I'm not really happy with the choices I'm making. So again, all of this comes from personal experience. So check in and look through the decisions of your day, because if you begin getting more conscious about all the decisions, the smaller ones in your day, the bigger ones, when they come along, will be so much easier because you will have established that connection. You will know. You'll have this feeling. And the feeling is not, for example, people say, well, you said no to this, so probably you're scared of it. No, I just so clearly felt not the right thing for me at this time. Maybe in a year, not right now. And so this is the centerpiece of your life. Make it the centerpiece of your life, really that connection, because everything else begins falling into place when we do that. And then we don't worry about fear of missing out. And then we have regrets about choices, or don't have regrets about choices that we made or didn't make. That's the centerpiece. And I also wanted to thank you all, because you are, so many of you have been reaching out to our junior coaches that are in the Inspired Coaching Academy, ICA, learning to be coaches throughout this year. And for those who have reached out, who are working with our coaches, thank you so much. I want to invite everyone. Maybe you have a challenge. Maybe today's topic spoke to you. You want to go deeper on that. Maybe it triggered some other questions for you. Maybe you're wondering what's been holding you back. Maybe there's something you're scared of. Maybe there's something you want to talk about. There's something you want to change. While Kristin and I, of course, we're always available, and you can reach out to us and book a session with us. Our coaches, junior coaches, are always looking for practice clients as well. This is for now free of charge while they're still learning. If you reach out to them, you're always welcome to send a contribution. Please do be respectful of their time. We've heard of a couple of, or quite a few no-shows, people that book a session then simply don't show up for the Zoom call or whatever. Please do be, mindful of our coaches' time as well, as they are mindful of yours, and respectful. That we would ask for that, kindly. And last but not least, Kristin and I are super excited. We put a link on the top of that comment section for the Yado retreat that's coming up at the end of September, early October, September 30th till October 3rd. We are going to meet in person at a beautiful beach in Cape San Blas, Florida, for a wonderful retreat. And Yado stands for You Are the One. You are the one you have been waiting for. And over the course of 3.5, 4 days, we're going to leave our everyday lives behind. That's really important for us. We want to step out of routines and usual rituals, create new patterns, new shifts, new connections, and breakthrough experiences, even out of comfort zone experiences, spiritual, physical. It's all going to be there, but it's going to be an amazing experience. Again, September 30th till October 3rd. Thank you for those who've already signed up and booked. We're excited, really are. We're talking about it almost every day. So just click the link up there in the live chat box. And if you feel inspired to join us, book your seat now. We are, we're not playing the scarcity game here, but we really want to keep the group small, an intimate experience, a personal experience. So there's not going to be a huge group at that retreat. So if you feel inspired, if it's a good time, if you're ready to make such a choice, just do it. But check in. Create the connection first. Don't let me be the driver of your decision or your fear of missing out. Check in. Make that connection. Connect with your highest self, with the Creator, and see if this is the right choice for you. Because we already know it's been, was the right choice for us. But we also know you have an intimate personal guidance system that is real, authentic, and applicable only for your life. And that's the place we encourage you to make this or any other decision from. But it is an open invitation. We'd love to see you. So our hearts are open, our arms are open. We're really looking forward to this. And we're going to be here again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, right here on the Inspire channel. We look forward to seeing you, connecting with you, and diving into another topic that is really connected to everything, like this is. And that's really the theme here. We understand we all have different life experiences. We understand we all have different challenges that appear to be different, but we have seen over and over and over and over again, there's a theme in all of this. There's a theme, and the theme is, we have not made peace with our past, forgiven whatever needs forgiveness. And number two, we haven't really connected with the Creator on a personal, intimate level, not through a pre-scripted prayer, not through a pre-designed process, but through your own experience. Those two things have created shifts in so many lives. That's the key. That's pretty much the key to the kingdom. And the kingdom isn't out there. It's not somewhere in the sky. There's not a heaven. There is a heaven, of course, in terms of there is a beautiful, all that is spiritual field. But what I mean is we're not disconnected from it while we are in our physical bodies. We can access this field. We can have heaven on earth, truly, if we follow that path. Inspired Tribe, thank you. Thank you for joining us today. It's always a wonderful pleasure. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, right here on the Inspired channel.